Hi friends, today I am going to speak to you about Mother Teresa, Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Mother Teresa, who was between 1910 and 1997, also known as Saint Teresa of Calcutta, was a Catholic nun and missionary who devoted her life to serving the poor, sick, and dying. She is one of the most widely recognized humanitarian figures of the 20th century. Here are some key facts about her. She was born as Anges Gonze Bojasiu. Her name was like that, and she was born on August 26th, 1910, in Skopje, then a part of Ottoman Empire, now in North Macedonia. She arrived in India in 1929 as a member of Sisters of Loreto, founded Missionaries of Charity in 1915, Kolkata, formerly Calcutta, with a mission to care for the poorest of the poor. She became an Indian citizen in 1948. She got Nobel Prize in 1979 for her humanitarian work. She died on September 5, 1997 in Kolkata, India. She was canonized on September 4, 2016, and is officially known as Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Her organization grew from a small community of sisters in Kolkata to a global network operating in many countries, providing care for people experiencing poverty, illness, homelessness, and abandonment. Mother Teresa's legacy has also been the subject of debate. While many admire her compassion and lifelong service, some scholars, journalists, and former volunteers have criticized aspects of the care provided in some of her homes. Her views on suffering and medical treatment, and the sources of some donations her organization accepted. Supporters argue that she worked under extremely limited resources to serve people who often had nowhere else to go. She is remembered for sayings such as, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." Mother Teresa, later known as Saint Teresa of Calcutta, is remembered for her lifelong commitment to serving people living in poverty and those who were sick, abandoned, or dying. Her work began in Kolkata and eventually inspired humanitarian efforts around the world. Early life: she was born as Anges Gonze Bojasiu on August 26, 1910, in Skopje, now the capital of North Macedonia. Her family was of Albanian heritage and practiced the Catholic faith. From a young age, she was interested in missionary work and helping others. At age 18, she joined Sisters of Loreto and left home to begin religious training in Ireland before traveling to India. She arrived in India in 1929 and became a teacher at a convent school in Kolkata. She taught geography and later became the school's principal. In 1946, while traveling by train, she experienced what she described as a call within a call, a conviction that she should leave the convent school and dedicate herself to serving the poorest people in the city's slum. In 1950, she established the Missionaries of the Charity. The congregation began with only a few members but expanded rapidly. Today, the organization has served in many countries through homes, clinics, schools, shelters, and outreach programs for people in need. Humanitarian work of hers and her fellow sisters are people who were homeless, patients with leprosy and tuberculosis, children without family, orphans, elderly people with no one to care for them, people who were terminally ill. One of the most known homes she established was the Nirmal Hriday, Pure Heart, where people who were dying could receive care, food, and companionship. She also received many awards like Padma Shri in 1962, Raman Magsaysay Award 1962, Nobel Peace Prize Award 1979 and Bharat Ratna in 1980. She donated much of the Nobel Prize money to help people experiencing poverty. After her death on September 5, 1997, the Catholic Church began the process of recognizing her as a saint. She was beatified in 2003 by Pope John Paul II. She was canonized, declared a saint on September 4, 2016 by Pope Francis. Her feast day is celebrated on September 5. Some of her well known sayings include: If you can't feed 100 people, then feed just one. Peace begins with a smile. Not all of us do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Spread love everywhere where you go. Mother Teresa remains a symbol of compassion and service. Streets, schools, hospitals, and charitable organizations have been named in her honor. At the same time, historians and commentators have debated aspects of her life, including the standard of medical care in some facilities and her views on suffering. These discussions are a part of broader historical assessment of her life, while many continue to regard her as an inspiration for humanitarian service. Her example continues to encourage millions of people around the world to volunteer, donate, and care for those in need, regardless of religion, nationality, or background. I want to tell something about childhood and family of Mother Teresa. She was born on 26th August 1910 in Skopje, now the capital of North Macedonia. Her birth name was Angus Gonze Bojazio. The word Gonze means flower bed in Albanian. Her father, Nicole Bonjaccio, was a businessman and community leader, while her mother, Rona Bonjaccio, was known for helping poor families in their neighborhood. When Mother Teresa was only 8 years old, her father died. Her mother raised the family and taught her children to be kind, generous, and faithful. From an early age, she enjoyed praying, singing in church, and helping people who were less fortunate. At the age of 12, she felt drawn to religious life. By 18, she decided to become a missionary. She joined the Sisters of Loreto in Ireland in 1928, where she learned English because it was the language used to teach students in India. Soon afterwards, she traveled to India and began her religious training in Darjeeling. In 1931, she took her first religious vow and chose the name Teresa, inspired by Teresa of Lisieux. Mother Teresa spent nearly 20 years teaching at St. Mary's High School in Kolkata. She taught geography and religion and later became the principal. Although she enjoyed teaching, she was deeply affected by the poverty she saw outside the school walls. Many people lacked food, shelter, healthcare, and education. On September 1946, while traveling by train from Kolkata to Darjeeling, she experienced what she later described as a call within a call. She believed God was asking her to leave the convent and dedicate herself to serving the poorest people. After receiving permission from church authorities, she left the convent in 1948. She exchanged her traditional habit for a simple white cotton sari with blue borders, which became her distinctive dress. Before starting her work, she received basic nursing training in Patna. She then returned to Kolkata and began helping people in the slums. She started with almost no money. She taught poor children in the streets, visited families, cleaned wounds, cared for sick people, and comforted those who has been abandoned. In 1950, she founded the Missionaries of Charity. The congregation's mission was to care for people who were hungry, homeless, sick, orphaned, or dying. The organization expanded from a handful of sisters to thousands of members serving in many countries. They work for homes for children, orphanages, schools, clinics, shelter for people experiencing homelessness, centers for people with disabilities, care homes for elderly and terminally ill people. Mother Teresa became internationally known during the 1960s and 1970s. She met world leaders, spoke about poverty and compassion, and inspired many people to volunteer or support charitable work. She received numerous honors, including Padma Shri in 1962, Jawaharlal Nehru Award for International Understanding 1972, Nobel Prize Peace Prize 1979, and Bharat Ratna in 1980. She accepted these awards on behalf of people living in poverty rather than as personal achievements. As she grew older, Mother Teresa experienced severe health problems, including heart disease. She stepped down as the head of the Missionaries of Charity in 1997. She died on 5th September 1997 in Kolkata at the age of 87. India honored her with a state funeral attended by national leaders, religious representatives, and thousands of mourners. The Catholic Church investigated her life and recognized miracles attributed to her intercession as a part of canonization process. She was beatified on 19th October 2003 by Pope John Paul II and canonized on 4th September 2016 by Pope Francis. She is now officially known as Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Mother Teresa's life continues to inspire people around the world. The missionaries of charity remain active in many countries, providing food, shelter, healthcare, education, and support to vulnerable communities. Her work is widely praised for its compassion and dedication, while historians and commentators also continue to discuss and evaluate aspects of her methods and the condition in some of the homes run by her organization. Her legacy is therefore remembered both for its humanitarian impact and the subject of ongoing historical study. She faced many challenges and criticism. Although Mother Teresa was admired by many, some journalists, historians, and former volunteers criticized aspects of her love. Concerns included the quality of medical care in some of her homes, her views on suffering and end of life care, and the acceptance of donations from controversial figures. Supporters respond that her organization worked in extremely difficult conditions, often caring for people who had been abandoned and had few or no alternatives. These differing perspectives continue to be discussed by historians and researchers. Mother Teresa's health declined during the 1980s and 1990s due to heart disease and other illness. In March 97, she stepped down as the head of Missionaries of Charity. She died on September 5, 1997 in Kolkata at the age of 87. The government of India honored her with state funeral attended by leaders from around the world. The Catholic declared her blessed in 2003 through beatification by Pope John Paul II. On 4th September 2016, Pope Francis canonized her as Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Her feast day is celebrated each year on 5th September. Today, the missionaries of charity continue to work in many countries, running homes, hospitals, schools, shelters, and outreach programs for vulnerable people. Mother Teresa's life has inspired countless volunteers, healthcare workers, religious communities, and humanitarian organizations. Her message remains simple but enduring. Caring for others begins with compassion shown in everyday action. Whether remembered as a saint, a humanitarian, or a social reformer, she left a lasting impact on millions of lives around the world. Mother Teresa's life was dedicated to serving humanity with compassion, humility, and perseverance. She showed that even small act of kindness can make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. While her legacy include both widespread admiration and thoughtful historical debate, her commitment to helping people in need continues to inspire service, generosity, and compassion across the world. Her message remains simple but enduring, caring for others with compassion shown in everyday actions. Whether remembered as a saint, a humanitarian, or a social reformer, she left a lasting impact on millions of people around the world. So, I believe you liked the description about her. So, thank you for